Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to How to Plant Your Seedling. So what we've done, I've pre-dug the hole, and it's at least double, triple the size of really what it needs to be. You should have your tree in something like this when it comes to you. The reason we do this is to hold in the moisture, and as you can see, everything around the roots is nice and moist. It hasn't dried out. So we're going to take all of that off of there. So the one thing that you might want to do when you do this is just sort of gently spread your roots out some. They may not do it a lot. So the next thing that's really important is to look at your trunk. You can see where the roots are actually starting to grow on the stem. So this would all be underground, which is very important. The next thing to do is to find your depth. If I put that in there, obviously we're too deep, but that's fine. So when it comes to prepping your hole, soil has a lot to do with how you're going to want to do this. If you have really bad clay soil, you might want to put some amendments, but if your soil really crumbles up, you don't need to add anything. The purpose with making it about 2 to 3 or whatever size difference is that when these roots start to spread, it's going to be easy for them to take hold into the soil. So I've dug it out, and like I said, it's a little too deep, but what we'll do is we'll pull some soil in and sort of mound it up, and we'll nestle the tree right there at the level it needs to be with the ground, and then we'll slowly backfill around the edges, little bit by little bit, and firm it up so the tree is nice and straight. All right, so I've mounded up the soil in the middle and rested this on here to the point where I'm following it across, and I am going to be right where the trunk and the root section meets. And then I'm going to slowly start putting in soil. And you don't want to just put it in big clumps. You actually want to sort of spread it out as much as possible, loosen it up. Another nice little earthworm in there. You know something's going good with your soil when you got lots of earthworms. So I'm going to slowly take this and just sort of firm it. You don't really want to smash it too hard. You want to do it just enough to firm it up, but leave areas for water and oxygen in the soil, because that's what really helps the roots out. So I am getting where we need to be. My soil line is just on this side, is just about a ½ inch or so. All right, so the tree is in the ground. I think it's pretty straight. I've looked at it. Now we have built a little berm here. What the berm does, it actually helps the water stay in place so it doesn't run out. When you first plant this, you're going to want to do this. If you got real good soil, it all should go in and drain right away. If it does stand, you might need to raise your tree up a little bit. You can see that worked really nice in. So when it's real hot, really pay attention to the tree. It will tell you when it needs water. The leaves will start to maybe come down a little bit and droop. To help that and stop that, mulch is very important. So we have our mulch here. The one thing we want to do is we definitely want to sprinkle it over the top, because that's the area that will tend to dry out, but we don't want to pile it against the stem. So just be real careful doing that. And then we'll come all around our berm and protect that from being damaged. And at this point, we're pretty done. Now you can watch your tree. If it does shift and you think it does need to be staked, you can put in a bamboo stake or something with it and loosely tie it. But the main thing, if they're straight, they stand tall. If wind moves them around, that is a big advantage for the tree, because it actually strengthens all the cells in the trunk of the tree. So bending is good on that. So when you're done, you should sort of have a product on your tree that looks like this. Nice and green, firmly in the ground. And then, like I said, in summertime, watch it. The good thing about these roots, they're all intact. They will start to spread out and search for moisture. You do not want to drown them. And it's always a good thing to put your finger in. If it feels wet, you're good. You really don't need to water it. This time of year, it will start to get hotter. But right now, we're about mid-May. It feels like fall out here. So this is a great time to get these in the ground because it's less stress than when you're trying to put them in when it's really hot and in the 90s. That'll really help these bare root trees.